The massive radar dish slowly turned in the cold night air at Earth's most advanced deep space monitoring station in Antarctica. Inside the warm control room, Robert Parker stared at his display screen, his coffee growing cold beside him. Something wasn't right with the data streams he was receiving. "Control, I'm picking up unusual patterns in Sector 7, he reported, his fingers flying across the holographic keyboard. The patterns didn't match any known human communications or natural phenomena. They were too structured, too precise. Within minutes, the station chief, Dr. Anna Wells, stood behind him, her eyes narrowing as she studied the data. "Send this to Global Defense Command immediately. Market Priority 1. The signal was unlike anything they had seen before. It wasn't directed at Earth. Instead, it seemed to be passing between multiple points in space, creating a complex web of communications that stretched across several star systems. At Global Defense Command's underground headquarters beneath the Rocky Mountains, Commander James Miller received the data packet. His augmented reality implant immediately displayed the information across his field of vision. 20 years of military service had taught him to trust his instincts, and right now, every instinct was screaming danger. "Get me our best code breakers," he ordered his eye assistant, "and wake up the Joint Chiefs. They need to see this." The next 48 hours were a blur of activity. The world's most powerful quantum computers worked tirelessly to crack the alien encryptions. Scientists and military analysts from every major nation contributed to the effort. Humanity had learned its lessons from the First Contact War. They were no longer divided by petty national interests when it came to extraterrestrial threats. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Thomas Reed, a linguistics professor who had helped decode the previous alien language during the First Contact War, noticed something familiar in the signal patterns. "They're using a base 12 mathematical system," he explained to the gathered officials, "just like our previous visitors." With this key insight, the decryption process accelerated rapidly. As the alien messages began to resolve into understandable data, the room grew increasingly tense. The translations revealed conversations between multiple alien species, all discussing one topic: Earth. "These aren't diplomatic channels," Commander Miller observed grimly. "They're military communications. They're discussing invasion strategies." The aliens seemed to view Earth as a primitive but resource-rich world, perfect for conquest. They were debating how to divide the spoils, arguing over which species would get which continents, which oceans, which resources. Some messages mentioned humanity's victory in the First Contact War, but dismissed it as luck against a minor scout force. "They have no idea what we're capable of," Miller said, a cold smile crossing his face. In the 50 years since the First Contact War, humanity had not been idle. Every piece of alien technology from that conflict had been studied, reverse-engineered, and improved upon. The solar defense grid, hidden from alien sensors by advanced cloaking technology, was more powerful than anything these potential invaders could imagine. The Joint Chiefs convened an emergency session. Representatives from every major military power on Earth gathered in the secure conference room. The holographic displays showed the decoded alien communications, tactical analyses, and defense readiness reports. "We can't let them know we've broken their encryption," Admiral Wilson stated, "but we need to send them a message they won't forget." General Martinez nodded in agreement. "They think we're primitive. Let's show them just enough to make them think twice, without revealing our full capabilities." The decision was unanimous. Earth would broadcast a warning, not a plea for peace, not a diplomatic overture, but a clear statement of strength. They would show these alien species that humanity was not prey to be hunted, but a force to be reckoned with. Commander Miller was chosen to draft the message. As he sat down at his desk, he thought about humanity's journey from a primitive species to a spacefaring civilization. He thought about the lives lost in the First Contact War and the unity that had emerged from that conflict. He thought about the massive technological leap humanity had made in just 50 years. The message would need to be clear, forceful, and undeniable. It would need to make these alien species understand that Earth was not an easy target. Most importantly, it would need to demonstrate that humanity was ready and waiting for any who dared to test their defenses. Miller cracked his knuckles and began to type. The warning that would echo across the galaxy was about to be written. The ancient bunker doors groaned open, revealing a museum unlike any other on Earth. Commander Miller led the delegation of military officials through the dimly lit corridors of the First Contact War Memorial. The time had come to remind themselves of the lessons learned 50 years ago. Holographic displays flickered to life as they walked, showing scenes from humanity's first encounter with alien life. It wasn't the peaceful meeting everyone had hoped for. The aliens had arrived without warning, their ships appearing suddenly above major cities worldwide. "This is where it all began," Miller said, stopping at the largest display. It showed the massive alien vessel that had positioned itself over New York City. They thought we would surrender at the mere sight of their technology. They were wrong. The next display showed the alien ultimatum, now preserved in perfect detail. The translation had been crude back then, but the message was clear: submit or be destroyed. The aliens had given humanity 6 hours to decide. "They underestimated us," Admiral Wilson commented, touching a piece of recovered alien armor displayed in a protective case. "They thought we were primitive because we hadn't mastered faster-than-light travel. They never expected us to fight back." The memorial's next section detailed humanity's response. Instead of panic or surrender, the world had united. Ancient rivalries were forgotten as military forces combined their strengths. Scientists shared their most secret research. For the first time in history, humanity stood as one. The holographic displays showed the first battle. When the aliens began their attack, they found Earth wasn't defenseless. Years of watching science fiction had prepared humanity for this possibility. Anti-satellite weapons, experimental electromagnetic pulse generators, and nuclear warheads were ready. "The turning point," Miller said, stopping at a twisted piece of alien metal. Their shields could block energy weapons, but they weren't prepared for simple kinetic impacts. Railroad guns and tungsten rods dropped from orbit cut through their ships like paper. The aliens had superior technology, but humanity had numbers and determination. For every human city they destroyed, 10 of their ships were brought down. The wreckage of their vessels became humanity's greatest treasure, a library of advanced technology ripe for reverse engineering. This was their biggest mistake, Dr. Reed pointed out, gesturing to a damaged alien computer core. They thought we couldn't learn their technology quickly enough to use it against them. Within days, our scientists had begun decoding their systems. The next chamber showed humanity's counterattack. Captured alien weapons were turned against their former owners. Human pilots, trained in simulators using stolen alien data, proved more adaptable than their enemies. The invaders found themselves fighting an enemy that grew stronger with each passing day. "The final battle," Miller said softly as they entered the last chamber. The hologram showed Earth's combined fleet, a mix of human and reverse-engineered alien vessels, facing off against the main invasion force. The aliens had expected to find a broken, conquered planet. Instead, they found humanity ready for war. The battle lasted 3 days. When it was over, the alien fleet was destroyed. The few survivors fled, carrying with them a message: Earth was not to be trifled with. "Everything we have now," Admiral Wilson said, "came from this victory. The solar defense grid, our quantum communications network, the Mars colonies, all built using what we learned from them." The final display showed Earth's technological progress over the past 50 years. The alien technology had... The Global Defense Command's broadcasting center hummed with activity. Technicians worked at their stations, preparing Earth's most powerful communication array for a transmission that would reach across the galaxy. Commander Miller stood at the central platform, reviewing the final draft of humanity's message on his holographic display. "Are the translation matrices ready?" he asked, looking at Dr. Reed, who was making final adjustments to the alien language processors they had developed from First Contact War technology. All 27 known alien languages are loaded, Dr. Reed confirmed. The message will be crystal clear to every species in range. No one will be able to claim they misunderstood our meaning. The message itself was a masterpiece of calculated intimidation. It began with footage from the First Contact War. Not the beginning, but the end. The scenes showed human forces using captured alien technology with devastating effectiveness. Alien ships falling from the sky as Earth's defenders proved their worth. "Start the recording," Miller ordered, his voice firm and clear. The cameras activated, focusing on Miller as he stood before a backdrop of Earth's combined fleet. The ships gleamed in the sunlight, a mix of human engineering and advanced alien technology, each one a testament to humanity's rapid progress. To all spacefaring civilizations, Miller began, his words being instantly translated into alien languages. "We, the United People of Earth, are aware of your discussions regarding our world. We have monitored your communications. We have heard your plans. And now, you will hear us." The broadcast shifted to show the solar defense grid in action, demonstrating its power by vaporizing an asteroid the size of a small moon. The test had been conducted the previous week specifically for this message. 50 Earth years ago, your kind tested us. You thought us weak, primitive, easy prey. The screen showed more footage from the First Contact War. That mistake cost your forces dearly. We not only survived, we emerged stronger. The next sequence displayed Earth's technological advancement. Quantum computers that put alien systems to shame. Weapons that could tear apart space-time itself. Defensive systems that could track and destroy targets faster than light could travel. Since that day, we have prepared. We have built. We have advanced. Your technology became our foundation, but what we've built goes far beyond what you imagined possible. The message shifted to show Earth's colonies on Mars and the Moon, the massive shipyards in orbit, the fleets of warships ready for deployment. Each image was carefully selected to demonstrate power without revealing their most advanced capabilities. We have watched your kind destroy younger civilizations. We have seen you strip worlds bare of resources. You believe might makes right. So be it. Let us show you true might. The broadcast displayed a demonstration of Earth's planetary defense systems. Swarms of autonomous drones, energy weapons that could boil oceans, shields that could withstand the force of a small sun. Again, these were only the capabilities they were willing to reveal. This is not a plea for peace. This is not a request for negotiation. This is a warning. Miller's voice grew harder. Earth is not your prey. We are not defenseless primitives to be conquered. We are humanity, and we are ready. The final sequence showed the full extent of Earth's military preparedness. Forces stationed throughout the solar system, hidden bases on distant moons, automated defense platforms that never slept. Should you choose to ignore this warning, remember, we have defeated your kind before. We have spent 50 years preparing to do it again. And this time, we will not stop at merely defending our world. The message concluded with a demonstration of their most public weapon, a device that could create a localized singularity, capable of swallowing entire fleets. It was old technology by their standards, but still terrifying to those who had never seen it. Humanity stands ready. We are watching. We are waiting. Choose wisely. As the transmission ended, the room fell silent. The message would take hours to reach its furthest intended recipients, but its impact would be immediate for those closer to Earth. Message complete, the communications officer reported, broadcasting on all known frequencies, using their own encryption methods. They'll know we cracked their codes. Miller nodded. Good. Let them worry about what else we might know. The die was cast. Humanity had shown its teeth. Now they would wait to see who was foolish enough to ignore their warning. Deep space monitoring stations across Earth worked overtime as alien communications exploded following humanity's broadcast. In the Global Defense Command Center, analysts worked around the clock to process the flood of intercepted messages. They're talking about us. Dr. Reed reported, his eyes scanning the incoming translations. Every major species in range has responded to our warning, and they're not happy. Commander Miller stood before the main display screen, watching as different alien reactions were categorized and analyzed. The responses fell into distinct patterns, each one revealing something about their potential adversaries. The Hive Collective, a species of insectoid aliens from the Orion Arm, immediately withdrew their invasion plans. Their messages spoke of unacceptable risks and insufficient resource value. They had lost 3 Hive ships in the First Contact War, and their genetic memory made them wary of repeated failures. At least some of them can learn, Admiral Wilson commented, marking the Hive Collective as a reduced threat. The Crystal Empire, however, responded with rage. Their transmissions were filled with threats and boasts about their superior technology. They hadn't participated in the First Contact War and believed their crystalline ships were invulnerable to Earth's weapons. They're going to be a problem, Miller noted, flagging their sector for increased surveillance. But the most interesting response came from an unexpected source. The Ancient Ones, a species so old they were considered mythical by most alien civilizations, broke their centuries of silence to comment on humanity's message. "This is unprecedented," Dr. Reed said, his voice filled with awe. "The Ancient Ones haven't communicated with anyone in over 300 years. Their message was brief but profound. It spoke of humanity's potential, noting how quickly they had advanced and adapted. The Ancient Ones compared Earth's development to their own early history, suggesting that humans might follow a similar path. They're not afraid of us," Miller realized. "They're curious." More responses poured in. The trading guilds, always practical, began discussing the possibility of peaceful commerce instead of conquest. They calculated that trading with Earth might be more profitable than trying to take its resources by force. The warrior clans of the Carina sector were less impressed. Their messages spoke of honor and combat, suggesting that humanity's warning was a challenge to be accepted. 3 different clan chiefs proposed immediate attacks to test the human strength. Predictable, Admiral Wilson sighed. "There's always someone who needs to learn the hard way." The most concerning responses came from the Shadow Collective, a group of species known for their stealth technology. Their messages were heavily encrypted, discussing ways to probe Earth's defenses without being detected. "They think they can sneak past our sensors," Miller said with a grim smile. "They don't know about the quantum detection grid." Hour after hour, more reactions came in. Some species began forming alliances, while others withdrew from their previous partnerships. The galactic political landscape was shifting rapidly in response to humanity's show of strength. "Look at this," Dr. Reed called out, highlighting a particular set of transmissions. "Some of the younger species are asking for Earth's protection. They're afraid our warning will make the aggressive species look for easier targets." Miller studied these messages carefully. The idea of Earth becoming a protector of developing civilizations hadn't occurred to him, but it made strategic sense. Allies could be valuable, especially if they were grateful and loyal. "The galaxy's getting interesting," Admiral Wilson observed. "Our message didn't just warn them about attacking Earth, it changed the whole balance of power out there." The final analysis showed that roughly 60% of known species had decided to avoid conflict with Earth. 20% were still considering their options, and the remaining 20% seemed determined to test humanity's capabilities. "Send word to all defense stations," Miller ordered. "Tell them to expect visitors. Some of these species won't be able to resist checking if we were bluffing." As the command center continued monitoring the alien chatter, one thing became clear: humanity's message had accomplished its primary goal. Earth was no longer seen as an easy target. Whether this would lead to peace or conflict remained to be seen, but at least now everyone knew that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. The galaxy was changing, and Earth had just announced itself as a major player in that change. The next few days would show who had truly heeded their warning, and who needed a more practical demonstration of humanity's resolve. The alert came at midnight Greenwich Mean Time. 3 ships from the Crystal Empire had breached the outer warning boundary of the solar system. Their crystalline hulls glowed with energy as they pushed forward, ignoring Earth's automated warnings. "Right on schedule," Commander Miller said, watching the tactical display in the Global Defense Command Center. They couldn't resist testing us. The Crystal Empire had been the most vocal about doubting Earth's capabilities. Their ships were considered nearly indestructible, their weapons powerful enough to crack planets. They expected an easy victory to prove humanity's warning was just empty threats. "All defense stations report ready," the tactical officer announced. "Solar grid is powered up but inactive. Mars defense fleet standing by." Miller nodded, studying the approaching ships. "Let them get closer. Let's show them exactly what they're dealing with." The alien vessels moved with arrogant confidence, their sensors probing Earth's defenses. They detected the obvious weapons platforms and defensive satellites, but the more advanced systems remained hidden, cloaked by technology that even the Crystal Empire couldn't detect. "They're launching probes," Dr. Reed reported, monitoring the communications. "Standard scout pattern. They still think we're primitive enough to miss their stealth technology." Miller allowed himself a small smile. "Activate the quantum detection grid. Let's show them their first surprise." Invisible beams of quantum-entangled particles swept through space, instantly revealing every probe and hidden device the aliens had deployed. On the tactical display, dozens of previously invisible dots appeared, showing the true extent of the Crystal Empire's reconnaissance attempt. "Target their probes," Miller ordered. "Use the old railgun technology. Nothing too advanced yet." Kinetic weapons platforms, seemingly primitive by alien standards, came to life. Tungsten rods accelerated to near-light speed, struck the crystal probes, shattering them instantly. The aliens hadn't bothered to shield against such primitive weapons. "They're responding," the tactical officer reported. "Energy weapons charging. They're targeting our visible defense platforms." "Let them hit the decoys," Miller commanded. "Show them what they expect to see." The Crystal Empire ships fired, their energy beams destroying several defensive satellites. Their victory was short-lived as they realized the destroyed platforms were empty shells, designed to draw their fire. "Now," Miller ordered, "show them something new." The real defense platforms decloaked, surrounding the alien ships in a 3-dimensional grid. Before the Crystal Empire vessels could react, quantum-locked tractor beams held them in place, neutralizing their advanced propulsion systems. "Broadcasting on their frequencies," Dr. Reed announced. "They're demanding we release their ships. They're threatening full-scale war." Miller stepped forward, activating the communication system. "Crystal Empire vessels, you have violated Earth's sovereign space after explicit warning. Your ships are now under our control. This is your only chance to withdraw peacefully." The alien commander responded with threats and insults, boasting about their ships' invulnerable crystal hulls. Miller had expected this response. It was time for the final demonstration. "Activate the resonance weapon," he ordered. The weapon was elegant in its simplicity. It used precisely calibrated sound waves, transmitted through space using quantum fields. The crystalline hulls of the alien ships, their greatest pride, became their greatest weakness. The ships began to vibrate, their perfect crystal structures experiencing sympathetic resonance. Cracks appeared in their supposedly invulnerable hulls, spreading like spiderwebs across their surface. "Stop! Stop!" The alien commander's voice had lost its arrogance. "We withdraw. We accept your terms." Miller gave the order to deactivate the weapon. The Crystal Empire ships hung in space, their once beautiful hulls now covered in fractures, held together only by their emergency fields. "Return to your territory," Miller broadcast. "Tell your leaders what happened here. Tell them that we showed mercy today, but our patience is not infinite." The quantum locks released, and the damaged ships flood, their retreat broadcast across all frequencies. The message would be clear to everyone watching. Earth's warning had teeth. "Send the battle records to all known species," Miller ordered. "Let them see what happened when someone tested us. But make sure they understand we didn't use our advanced weapons. Let them wonder what else we're holding back." As the Crystal Empire ships disappeared into deep space, the defense grid returned to its waiting state. The first test was over, and humanity had proved its point without revealing its true capabilities. The galaxy would be talking about this demonstration for years to come. 1 month after the Crystal Empire incident, the Global Defense Command Center was hosting a very different kind of meeting. Representatives from 17 peaceful alien civilizations had requested diplomatic talks with Earth, and humanity was ready to show another side of its capabilities. "The conference chamber is ready," reported Linda Hayes, Earth's newly appointed diplomatic chief. The room had been specially designed to accommodate various alien physiologies, with atmosphere-controlled sections for different species. Commander Miller adjusted his formal uniform as he prepared to meet their guests. The military uniform now carried symbols incorporating elements from the First Contact War, a reminder of Earth's journey from victim to power. The Trading Guild representatives arrived first, Linda said, checking her display. "They're eager to establish commercial relations. The Ancient One's envoy will arrive last, as per their custom." The meeting began with a ceremony that would have been unimaginable just months ago. Each alien delegation entered the chamber, their varied forms a testament to the diversity of life in the galaxy. The Trading Guild's mechanical avatars gleamed, while the ethereal forms of the nebula dwellers floated in their containment fields. "Welcome to Earth," Miller addressed the gathering. "We are pleased to meet in peace rather than conflict." The Ancient One's representative, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix, spoke first. Its words were translated instantly by the advanced systems developed from First Contact technology. "Humanity has proven itself wise," the Ancient One declared. "You demonstrated strength, but showed restraint. You proved your power, but offered mercy. These are the marks of a civilization ready to join the greater galactic community." The Trading Guild's chief negotiator stepped forward, its mechanical form humming softly. "We propose open trade routes through Earth's space. Your strategic location and proven defensive capabilities make you ideal partners." Miller watched as other representatives made similar offers. The Nebula Dwellers offered to share their knowledge of space-time manipulation. The Hive Collective proposed cultural exchange programs. Even the younger species, seeking protection, offered resources and alliance. "Earth accepts these proposals in principle," Miller responded. "But we have conditions. All agreements must respect our sovereignty and our right to defend ourselves and others." The diplomatic discussions continued for hours. Trade routes were planned, cultural exchanges were arranged, and mutual defense pacts were proposed. Earth was no longer just a potential target. It had become a crucial player in galactic politics. "There is another matter," the Ancient One announced near the meeting's end. "We have observed the aggressive species retreating to their territories, seeking new strategies. They will not remain peaceful forever." "We know," Miller replied. "That's why Earth proposes the formation of a galactic defense coalition, not for conquest, but for protection. To ensure that what happened to us during the First Contact War never happens to another developing civilization." The proposal caused excited discussion among the delegates. The idea of Earth, once a target for conquest, now offering protection to others, marked a significant shift in galactic politics. The Ancient Ones support this initiative, their representative declared. "It is time for a new order in the galaxy, one based on mutual respect and protection, rather than conquest and exploitation." As the meeting concluded, treaties were signed, agreements were made, and a new era of galactic cooperation began to take shape. Earth was no longer just defending itself, it was helping to reshape the galaxy's political landscape. "This is more than we hoped for," Linda said to Miller as they watched the delegates depart. "We've gone from potential victims to respected allies in less than 2 months." Miller nodded, watching the alien ships depart peacefully through Earth's defense grid. We showed them both sides of humanity, our strength and our wisdom. They respect our power, but they're choosing to ally with us because of how we use it. The last ship to leave was the Ancient One's vessel. As it departed, it transmitted a final message. Watch humanity closely. They will either help lead us all to a better future, or they will become what they once fought against. The choice is theirs. Miller understood the warning. Earth had gained power and respect, but with it came responsibility. The real challenge wasn't proving their strength. It was proving they could use that strength wisely. The galaxy was changing, and Earth was now at the center of that change. The future would show whether humanity could live up to its new role as a protector, rather than just a defender. 5 years had passed since Earth's warning had echoed across the galaxy. The Sol system had transformed into a bustling hub of interstellar commerce and diplomacy. Ships of various alien designs moved peacefully through designated lanes in space, their paths carefully monitored by Earth's ever-vigilant defense grid. Commander Miller, now Admiral Miller, stood in the observation deck of the new Galactic Cooperation Center, built in Earth's orbit. Below him, the blue planet shimmered, while above, the stars held countless worlds now connected through trade and alliance. The latest reports from the Frontier Defense Force, his aide reported, handing him a data tablet. 3 attempts by raiders to prey on developing worlds, all stopped without casualties. Miller nodded with satisfaction. The Galactic Defense Coalition, led by Earth, had proven remarkably effective at protecting younger civilizations. The aggressive species had learned that attacking developing worlds now carried too high a price. What about the Crystal Empire? Miller asked, remembering their first real test 5 years ago. They've become one of our strongest allies, surprisingly. Their ships now form part of the Coalition's Rapid Response Force. Apparently, being the only ones to directly test our capabilities made them respect us more, not less. The observation deck's door opened, admitting Dr. Reed, now the head of Earth's Sinological Research Institute. Age had whitened his hair, but his eyes still sparkled with enthusiasm for his work. The cultural exchange programs are exceeding all expectations, he reported. 17 different species have established permanent diplomatic missions on Earth. Humans are now welcome on over 30 alien worlds. The view outside showed the truth of his words. The space around Earth bustled with activity. Trading vessels from the merchant guilds docked alongside diplomatic ships from various species. The massive form of a Hive collective research vessel moved carefully through the traffic, its crew studying human social structures. The Ancient Ones were right, Miller mused. We had to choose between becoming protectors or becoming conquerors. I think we chose well. A alert chimed softly. A ship from one of the newly discovered civilizations was approaching. They had achieved spaceflight just months ago and were making their first diplomatic contact beyond their solar system. They had chosen Earth as their first destination. They say they chose us because they know our history, Dr. Reed explained. They know we understand what it's like to be the newcomers, facing a galaxy of older, more powerful species. The new species ship was escorted by Earth's defense vessels, not as a show of force, but as protection and welcome. The galaxy was still not entirely safe, but Earth had helped make it safer for emerging civilizations. Trade volume has increased by 300% in the past year alone, the aide reported. The quantum communication network now extends to 47 star systems. Earth's defensive technologies are being shared with trusted allies. Miller remembered the frightening days when they had first intercepted the alien invasion plans. How different things might have been if Earth had chosen aggression over measured strength, or conquest over cooperation. The galaxy's changing, he said, and we're helping to change it for the better. Below them, night was falling over Earth. Cities glowed with a mixture of human and alien lighting technologies. In these cities, humans and aliens worked together in research centers, cultural exchanges, and trading houses. Children grew up learning about different species as neighbors rather than threats. Another raid stopped in the Carina sector, the aide reported. The coalition ships didn't even have to fire a shot. The raiders turned back as soon as they detected our presence. Earth's reputation now preceded it. The species that had once planned to conquer it now sought its protection or alliance. The warning that had started it all had evolved into something more, a promise to protect, not just defend. The Ancient Ones sent another message, Dr. Reed added. They say we've exceeded their expectations. They're considering sharing some of their older technologies with us. Miller smiled. Earth had found its place in the galaxy not through conquest or submission, but through strength tempered with wisdom. The planet that had once been targeted for invasion had become known as the Protected Realm, not because it needed protection, but because it offered protection to others. As the new diplomatic ship approached the station, Miller prepared to welcome another species to the growing community of peaceful civilizations. Earth's final warning had evolved into an ongoing promise. Aggression would be met with strength, but peaceful cooperation would be met with friendship. The new era had truly begun.